great God, help us tonight. Help us get through here and defeat our opponent.
In the state of Michigan, every high school football team strives for one common goal: a chance to battle Thanksgiving weekend at the Pontiac Silverdome. That time is now. This is the place where the football champions of Michigan will be crowned. Right here on Fox Sports Net. Next. Football is all about chasing a dream realized by Catholic Central 7 times before. East Kentwood is in their first ever final and are focused and ready to do their best to unseat the current Division I champions who are out in full force. This afternoon, the big boys take center stage when the Shamrocks and Falcons meet for the first time ever in postseason play. It takes place in the Pontiac Silverdome, and it takes place only here on Fox Sports Net. Hi, everybody. Alongside my partner, Rob Rubik, my name is Matt Shepard. The Shamrocks are eyeing their 8th state championship. They're 2nd in a row, and they're 5th in the last 8 years. Rob, if they want to accomplish a little bit of history, they will ride their tailback, won't they?
Well, you're talking about Brooks, the running back, Derrick Brooks. Outstanding, Matt. This is a guy that Coach Mack has referred to as maybe the best running back to ever come through Catholic Central. And that's putting him into a pretty elite crowd. Power inside, explosiveness outside, able to go the distance at any time. And they're going to need this type of high-powered offense to go blow for blow with East Kentwood, who we know can put points on the board.
Yeah, he rushed for 1,200 yards as a sophomore, over 1,400 in his junior year. Now, you have to forgive East Kentwood if they're not impressed, because they are not easily impressed. They have a 4-headed monster in their backfield, Rob, who can beat you a number of different ways.
Oh, not only do they have 2 good legs, they have 8 good legs in their backfield. And it starts right here with Corey Sanders, over 600 yards this season. And then they work their way up a little bit to Eric Foster, over 700 yards. And as you go up the food chain a little bit even higher, Kyle Hinton, over 900 yards. That's just a tip of the iceberg. Can you get to Noel Alaman, over 2,600 yards rushing?
Wow.
That's a career for a lot of high school kids, not just one season.
Folks, this team averages over 445 yards per game on the ground. Let's go down to ground level. Mickey York is standing by. Mick.
Matt, thank you. As you mentioned, CC has been here several times before, but head coach Tom Mack acknowledges this one's just a little more special than the rest because he'll be coaching his twin boys, seniors Mike and Joe, for the final time today. They were both starters at the beginning of this season, but they were eventually beaten out of their jobs. Coach Mack said it was the toughest thing he had to do, but he had to stay true to his philosophy that the best players play, even if they are his sons. It'll be an emotional day on the East Kentwood sideline as well. Head coach John Chiletto will be coaching his son Matt for the final time today as well. Matt?
Tough decisions made by coaches, but that's why they get paid the big bucks, right? Well, big things at stake here in Division I, the state championship on the line. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this one. It could be the best of the weekend. The Shamrocks against the Falcons on Fox Sports Net is next. The MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Net are proudly brought to you by Bell Tire. Nobody comes close, nobody's closer. By Gardner White Furniture, we're known by the money you keep. And by Wallside Windows, most preferred, most referred. This place is packed on both sides, East Kentwood and Catholic Central. How does each team come away with their victory? Here's today's game plan, brought to you by Gardner White Furniture. Rob Rubik.
On CC's side of the ball, they have to run the pass. If they're going to be effective, play action is a big part of Coach Mack's repertoire. They're going to establish that with the running game and Derrick Brooks. Defensively, they have to stay home. This is assignment football when you're going against a straight T team with a lot of motion. On East Kentwood, they have the 4 horsemen. They're going to divvy the ball up a little bit, but Alaman will be the main man. And then they have to dam up the brook, keep Derrick Brooks under control.
John Soto, 3 years at East Kentwood. 24-8. In his 20 years in this game, he is 146-7. And his club will receive the football first. A booming kick. That means they'll start it at the 20. Jason Gingell with a big left leg. Tom Mack has been here before, 27 years at Catholic Central. He told me earlier this week, I just wanted to be here for 5 years, then bolt for a public school where I can make some real money. Instead, he says Catholic Central is the perfect fit for him. Corey Sanders, a perfect fit for this East Kentwood Falcon offense. A team that comes in 13-0 after rolling everybody in the OK Red Conference in 7 tries. The first play of the game in Division I State Championship 2002. A handoff inside to Kyle Hinton and a pickup of a couple. Sanders, a senior at 5'9", 185, completes about 35% of his passes. Has rushed for a couple of touchdowns on the season. His offensive line averages 216 pounds. And we talked about the running backs. There's a lot of them. And all of them will get touches today. 2nd down and 7 for the Falcons. This is the up back. Breaking free for a first down and close to the 45-yard line. Catholic Central's defense has given up 8 points per game because of those big hosses up front that average 6 feet, 226 pounds. Eric Wachowski, the leading tackler at the linebacker position, and Alex Wojcik has 57 tackles and 2 picks on the year for the Shamrocks. 1st and 10 for the Falcons on their first possession. Sanders, hands off. This will be Eric Foster, stumbling his way for a few. Foster almost 800 yards gained on the season. So many different weapons in this East Kentwood offense. And they put themselves in good situations too, Rob Rubik, on 2nd down because they pick up so many yards on 1st down. Just a 2nd down and 5 now. And make sure your equipment is on right. That is done by Dan Moore, the senior, who had to tie up that sneaker. He's going to need to, too, because those quick backs of East Kentwood keeps you off balance. This is the up back. Alamon breaking free. Breaking tackles and inside the 30. You can tell already what this guy brings to the table.
You're going to see it right here. We're going to pull the guard, Matt. It's a fullback trap running up inside. Allman, you see how they hold the ball? We're going to look at that later on. They all wrap their arms. They all come through the line of scrimmage. See how they're all holding their hands together? So it's hard to see the football. Your arms overlap the top of the football. It's a very deceptive offense. It's predicated on trap blocking and deception.
Give him 22. 1st and 10 at the CC 29. This is Sanders with it on his hip. And inside the 15, and a late flag coming because of a late hit on the part of Randall Means.
A little bit of frustration coming out of Randall Means. Good speed by Sanders getting outside, and I lost the ball, and I pride myself on being able to follow the ball, but he's going to fake, fake, fake. Look how they start out right here. They look like they're holding the ball, and they don't have it. He puts it on his hip. Then he gets outside, takes what's there, and then watch as he goes out of bounds. Randall Mean feels he ran that far to get him. He's going to get a little bit of a hit on him, but just a little bit late. 1st down, East Kentwood Falcons are on the roll.
Are they as well represented here today as you've seen any school since you've been covering high school state championship action?
Yeah, they have the whole side here, Matt, pretty much filled with the sea of red. Pretty impressive last night, though, also from the Grand Rapids area. South Christian had a great following here also.
And Lowell from the west side of the state was well represented, decked out in red, white, and black. They move the football down to the 8-yard line of Catholic Central. It'll be 1st and goal from the 8 for Corey Sanders. Hinton, Alamon, and Foster are in the backfield. The call to Alamon inside the 5.
Number 30.
Very steady drive for this Falcon offense. The offensive line so important to the success of their ground attack. Big horses up front. Second down and goal from the 4. Hinton. Maybe 1.
This is an offense, Matt, when you come up with all the crossing action and the deception in the backfield and the pulling of the guards, it's an offense that usually is quick strike in the beginning. Good teams have a way, once they get to see it, they do a better job of adjusting to it.
Third and goal from the 2. Sanders, the captain of this offense and really this team, plays with a big heart and makes a lot of plays. Staring at a third down and goal now from the 2 of the Shamrocks. Alaman, touchdown.
Well, the bread and butter play is right here inside the fullback trap, and he just bellies away. It's just a short blocking scheme between the center and the guard. A little bit of a full block. You see the left guard pulling. Alaman just comes right underneath it. And the beauty of the fullback trap, Matt, is the timing. You want the fullback hitting the hole, almost rubbing off the backside of the guard so that you don't have to hold your blocks very long.
2-point conversion. That's usual for East Kentwood. Sanders to Hinton. No, it's Sanders still with it. He wants to throw. Does. Foster with the catch. 8 points on the board for the Falcons. Didn't take them long. Like a surgeon, they worked their way through the Shamrock defense, putting 8 points on the Silverdome board. The Shamrocks get it when we come back. John Shillito's club strikes first. A methodical 8-play, 80-yard drive that used up almost 3.5 minutes. Noel Alaman with a 3-yard touchdown run. And he kicks off, too. It will be squibbed and picked up. Here come the Shamrocks up the right side. Big hitting right around the 30-yard line. Dave Thomas triggers the Shamrocks offense. The 6', 180-pound junior. He can throw the ball or run it. His offensive line averages 6'2", 255. A skill position led by Eric Rogowski, the upback, who had a big day last weekend. They trail 8-0. This is Derrick Brooks. Stumbles forward for a pickup of maybe 2. The East Kentwood Falcon defense gives up 23 points per game. Up front, a 5-man front. The linebackers, led by the coach's son, Matt Shillito. The defensive backs, led by Danny Reynolds, 3 interceptions. 4 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. Thomas and the Shamrocks trailing 8-0. Now on a 2nd down and 6. Toss to Means, slicing his way past the 40 to the 45 and close to midfield. Nate Reed in on the tackle from his cornerback position.
Well, this is just kind of trying to flank someone by formation. They motion Rogowski outside to get numbers. And the rest is up to Means. You just get speed and they attack the corner quickly, Matt. And that's a good job by Coach Mack and his staff seeing something that East Kentwood is giving them. 2
teams run similar offenses, don't they, Rob? Now on a 1st and 10 on a flag on the play. They both run that tight T formation, so they should be used to seeing against one another. Our referee, Frank Hendrickson.
Dead ball. Offside.
They both do run the tight T, Matt. You see referee Frank Hendrickson making that call. They run a T, but the difference is East Kentwood runs kind of like the old wing T offense. There's not a wing, it's a straight T with all the crossing action, all the deception, all the pulling of the guards. CC comes out, they run a T, but they'll motion out of it where they're just usually in the split backs.
Thomas under center on a 1st and 5 now. Rogowski up the middle for maybe 3. Rogowski 16 carries for 76 yards against Dakota last weekend, including a 3-yard touchdown run. He is the cousin of Ryan and Casey Rogowski, who helped the Shamrocks to state championships. And if you were watching our last game as a member of the class of the 1990s, Casey Rogowski, one of the top athletes in the state in that decade. Here's Brooks breaking free, spinning to the 30 and inside the 30-yard line. You can tell why he's special. A 13-yard gainer there, Rob. A lot of heart.
And there's not a lot going on up front as far as blocking goes for CC. It's just straight ahead power blocking. They give to Brooks. He just looks for the seam. It's a little bit of the inside stretch play. Brooks does the rest on his own, showing some good speed. Some nice footwork there, Matt. When he gets into the next tier, a little bit of spinning going on. You see why Coach Mack's in love with his ability.
Yeah, nice move there. 1st and 10 from the 29 now of East Kentwood. Thomas Wangler kind of feeling his way, carrying some blockers and tacklers for maybe one. Rick Kleitman made the tackle.
Sorry, Matt, but Coach Mack talking to him, he wanted to control the football to limit the amount of possessions this high-powered East Kentwood offense can have. Well, obviously, when you lose a toss, you lose that power right there. They get to take the kick. But now you see what his offense is doing. Methodically moving the ball down the field, chewing the clock up, approaching 5 minutes already in the first quarter. This could be a game that could be 45, 50 points and take about an hour and a half the way these two teams are moving the football.
Tom Mack, 244 wins under his belt. 7 titles. Thomas wants to throw for the first time this afternoon. Guns one in there, and it's caught inside the 20. Jeff McMichaels. Great throw by Thomas. He's got a good arm.
Matt, and you just saw quarterback and receiver between Thomas and McMichael. We're going to work together. You see Thomas, good time. Watch McMichael, though, as he comes into the screen, how he keeps working back between the defenders. He works his way back to the ball. That's what you want to always tell your receivers. By doing so, you're keeping yourself between the defender and the ball.
Like how Thomas stands tall in the pocket, too. McMichael's 21st catch of the year leads this team in receiving yards. Now on a 3rd down and 1. Brooks. He'll have the first down.
Number 23, Derrick Brooks.
Shadi Karache in on the tackle, the senior, 5'10", 195 pounds.
First down yard.
1st and 10 for the Shamrocks. Well, they've responded well.
1st and 10.
And we knew they would. You don't win as many state championships as Tom Mack has and let one touchdown, one quick drive by a team rattle you too much. You just line back up. It's a long game, and you take your shots, and he's doing that in this drive.
1st and 10 from the 18 of the Falcons. Wangler barreling up the middle.
Testing the waters a little bit by formation, by play calling. They come out in a power eye look, which is a new formation for CC. And they just run the lead inside, giving it to the tailback, or the fullback. But you notice quarterback Thomas goes down the line of scrimmage after he hands off, like he could run the option with the pitch back Brooks. That's something the staff upstairs is going to watch. See how Kentwood defends the rest of the play as the fake is carried out. 2nd
down and 8 now after Wachowski's pickup of 2. Just a sophomore. Here's the junior Thomas. Brooks dances his way right side, breaks free, touchdown. Well, as easy as East Kentwood made it look on offense, CC equals that.
Yes. Well, this is going to be a nightmare game for defensive coordinators. Derrick Brooks, this is nothing fancy. It's straight ahead blocking by everyone. There's no trapping, but he just finds a seam, which is created by good offensive line. You look at Pat Clark on the right side with Jason Horton opening up the hole, and Brooks just does the rest. If speed kills right now, he's classified as a deadly weapon because he can really accelerate.
You saw there his 14th touchdown of the year, and because East Kentwood converted on a 2-point conversion, maybe Catholic Central feels like they must do the same. Thomas with 5 wide receivers flying out into the pattern. He'll roll, look, and it will be converted. Jeff McMichaels, who made a big catch earlier, converts the 2-point conversion, and we are tied at 8. A 9-play, 70-yard drive in 5 minutes. Aaron Brooks dancing his way to the tying touchdown. high school fix today, you get your pro football fix today early on the NFL show, the most unpredictable pregame show on television with Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, and comedian Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows will never be the same. The NFL show tonight at 10:30, only here on Fox Sports Net. Nice drive, Derrick Brooks. A major part of that drive after finishing it off with an 18-yard touchdown run. His 14th of the season. Catholic Central using up nearly 5 minutes of the Silverdome clock. A fast-moving first quarter. Alongside Mickey York on the sidelines, Rob Rubik, my partner. My name is Matt Shepard. Glad you've joined us for the Division I state championship matchup. Noel Alaman back deep to receive the kick. He already has 1 touchdown in this ballgame. Gingell, Catholic Central kicks it away. Sanders cannot run it out. One of those rules in high school football in this great state. If it's into the end zone, it comes out to the 20.
It's like Corey Sanders knew that rule and he was waiting for the official. He caught it. He came out kind of slow, looking at the ref, waiting to blow the whistle.
So Corey Sanders, who moved that Falcon offense down the football field for a go-ahead touchdown early on. John Chalito's offense doing exactly what he thought they would do. He said, we expect to put points on the board. And who wouldn't? We average nearly 50 a game. Our concern is on the defensive side of the ball. Right now they have possession of the football on a 1st and 10. Sanders to Alaman. Up the middle for maybe 2. 2nd down and 8. First to Mickey York. Mick?
Matt, just an observation. I think it's a real bonus that East Kentwood is the home team because they're wearing those black jerseys. And from where I'm standing down here on the field, that ball just disappears into those jerseys when they carry out those fakes. Very hard to pick up right now, Matt.
Yeah, it is, Mickey, and that's a good point we were talking about earlier. When they came out in the pregame, we saw that they were wearing the black jerseys, and when they all come out swinging their arms. The teams used to, I remember a team called Marine City used to wear brown forearm bands, but then the state outlawed for that very reason.
2nd down and 8 from the 22 of East Kentwood. Foster, left side. Catholic Central is starting to get used to it just a little bit, maybe. Again, each team practices against the T formation, but that doesn't always mean that you're able to solve it right away.
It's one of those where you said, Matt, and that's where to set it up nice is you need to see it. You can't simulate it in practice, but as you see this offense, a well-coached team can settle in and start defending it a little bit better.
An exciting time for us, an exciting time for East Kentwood. Now on a 3rd down and 5 in their first ever trip to the Pontiac Silverdome. Alaman, left side, pushing his way to the 1st down yard marker, and I think he got it.
You got a feeling that Noel Alaman, who put up over 2,600 yards during the season, is going to be earning each and every yard against the Shamrocks of Catholic Central. Coach Max has them well prepared. They got pushed around a little bit in that first drive, but they're settling down in the offense. And the way to stop this offense, you have to stop the fullback trap. That's the #1 play, and that's what Noel Alaman is the fullback. So once you can take him out, make the other 2 halfbacks try to beat you.
Sanders down deep to receive the snap. Alaman again, breaking free, finding daylight. He's gone. To pay dirt, and the Falcons lead at 14-8.
Well, we talked about stopping the fullback trap. Well, they don't stop the fullback trap. That's all this is. It's the first man inside, and he just heads north and south, comes right off the back end of the pulling guard and showing some speed. Almost gets walked down by Alec Wojcik at the very end and has enough speed to get in the end zone.
Alaman's 2nd touchdown run of the afternoon. What amazes me most about the numbers, you can brag all you want about over 2,600 yards and now 35+ touchdowns. How about averaging 11 yards per touch? That is something else.
Well, everything that East Kentwood has done well so far, they just make a critical mistake. This is a team that likes to go for the 2-point conversion.
Delay game. Offense.
As you can see, they're taking a delay of game penalty, Matt. Now that puts you on the 8-yard line. The offense isn't quite as effective when you have to get 8 yards. It's a nice play, a nice offense to run when you have 3 or 4 backs that can all pick up 3 yards. But 8's a little bit different. It might put you into a passing situation, which they're not that comfortable with.
No, you're right. But Sanders has thrown for a 2-point conversion last time they had the football. This might be one of those games. Whoever has the football last might win it. Fumble and snap. Sanders does a good job to keep his composure. Floats it, picked off. So the 2-point conversion goes awry. But East Kentwood draws blood again. Corey Sanders leading the Falcons to their 14th point of this Division I state championship showdown.
Well, sometimes you get starstruck when you're in the Silverdome. And here comes Noel Aleman heading for the end zone. Let's look up top. Let's look up top. Let's see what we can see. Takes a peek at himself. I like that. You know what that does, Matt? It lets you know if anyone's getting close. He learned that. That's an old trick people used to use here. I never use it because I never got ahead of anyone. I saw some of my teammates. They'd be on a breakaway. You look up at the board to see if anyone's closing on you. And Noel Aleman showing some savvy.
What a great shot already. Noel Aleman, 7 carries, 123 yards. And in case you're wondering who their extra point kicker is, it is the aforementioned Noel Aleman. Kicks off, runs for touchdowns, and also kicks extra points. 70 of that 80 yards coming on one play on that scoring drive. I mentioned the 123 yards in the first quarter. Grab the history books, folks. Get close. Brooks fields it on a hop at the 11. He's got speed. Does he have enough blockers? Not to get past the 30. He's stumbled at the 26.
Well, let's see how CC responds, Matt. They've been gored a couple times on the opening drives, but they're going to take this opportunity, get Dave Thomas in the game, see what they can do with this offense. Derrick Brooks really has not been slowed down, and CC marched right down the field. So I'm sure the CC fans aren't sweating about their offense too much. It's the defense that has them concerned.
Tom Mack was a little concerned coming in because he felt 14 weeks is a long time for kids to stay focused, but he credits CC doing just that this year. Brooks trying to bounce it outside, breaking one tackle for a +2.
Shadi Karache came up from the linebacker position, makes a play and gets him by the ankles and slows him down.
East Kentwood's defense has allowed more points in the first quarter than CC, but Catholic Central has given up 14 already in this state championship till. 4 points more than they allowed all season long in the first quarter. 3 of those points, by the way, coming last week. Wangler up the middle. Derrick Wangler is an interesting story. This guy's a sophomore, and they wondered whether they should keep him on this football team. Last year, he played varsity baseball as a freshman. Rob, in the first game when he was playing the designated hitter role, he hit 3 home runs. So Tom Mack looked at him and said, I think I need to take a look at this young fella as a varsity football player, even though he'll be a sophomore next year.
Yeah, Tom Mack's not one that brings up a lot of young people in the program. He likes them to develop because they have the junior varsity program so solid. But he saw something in Rogowski that he liked. And he decided to get him up here, give him the opportunity to play, and he's responded well. It helps that he's 6'1", 205 pounds.
Right.
You know, he's
big, strong
no hummingbird now. He's got a good body on him.
Where's the number that his cousin once wore? Casey Rogowski. Wangler goes in motion. Now Brooks with Wangler leading the way. He picked up 5 there.
Matt, you've had a chance to watch a lot of good running backs covering football in the many years that you have. There's something about Derrick Brooks that I really like. The way when he takes the sweeps, he'll start heading up the field a little bit to help his blockers, and then he goes back to the outside. It's called setting up blocks. He does a pretty nice job of it.
Also means that he's looking for the blocks. You've told us many a times before, in order to be a good running back, maybe the most important thing to have, not speed, not strength, but vision. And Derrick Brooks has very good vision. The vision for Catholic Central at the start of this game was win back-to-back titles, win their 8th. But Noel Alaman and the Falcons are proving to be more than just a stumbling block. They lead at 14-8 after 1 on Fox Sports Net.
At the state finals, Matt, you get to see a little bit of everything. And I agree with Moses. Shoes, $60, uniforms, $150, bus, $80, whatever, priceless. But this gymnastics, obviously, their daughters aren't in it because it costs a lot more than that.
It's a lot cheaper than it is to play football. Look at the Falcon fans out in full force, jacked up and ready to go. Their team is up to start the second quarter, but Dave Thomas pushes the chains in front of the CC bench after that first down run.
That was something off, a little bit of the option. It's an option keep with the quarterback, just piggybacking the fullback. He fakes it to him on the ride, Matt, and then he just gets behind him and leads through the hole. A lot of times when you see that ride coming with the quarterback, defense immediately reacts, starting to get lateral down the line of scrimmage. That time he just tucks up and runs behind him.
Thomas and the Shamrocks on a 1st and 10. Wangler up the middle, barreling his way close to the 35. Well, he had a little something right there, Rob Rubik.
And what he got, Matt, was some good line blocking. And that's Ryan Connor, number 77. He's going to be coming right at you, right there, burying it down inside. Wangler just bellying behind it. A nice job. Actually, he gets bumped a little bit, and there was more there. But Ryan Connor inside doing a nice job opening up his home zone with Greg Aerosmith.
Thomas, they love his field general leadership. Plays well under pressure, and he can go a long time. Here's Means looking for the corner. Pushed out of bounds at about the 30. Rondell Means, his 68th carry of the season. He scored 4 touchdowns on the ground. Can flare out of the backfield once in a while, too. Senior who will jog off. Watch this play from the sidelines as Landon Langham comes in to play the wide receiver on the far side. He is split wide right of Dave Thomas. Jeff McMichaels in the slot. On a 2nd down and 8. Thomas wants to throw on a roll. Pressure. Gets away. Floats it. Completed. And close to a 1st down. Kyle Smith, the big tight end. We've seen some good-sized tight ends already on this day alone, Rob Rubik. Smith,
let's take a look at Thomas. Tight end's going to release right into the flat there, Matt. You see him running long. Thomas at the last minute makes a defender commit. Eric Foster has to decide, am I going to take the tight end or am I going to come up and stop the rollout? He chooses to come up and make the play on the run. Good read by Thomas, drops it over the top. Well executed by the Shamrocks.
And a good job by Smith to stay where he was going. In that pattern. Found a little opening. CC 2 for 2 on 3rd downs. Wangler looking to make it 3 for 3. And I think he did.
We talked in the opening that Tom Mack, he runs the ball normally, if he gets things his way, Matt, about 90% of the time. And by doing so, you become a very good play-action team. If you're running the ball 90% of the time, that means you're running it effectively. And when you do that, when you play action like they did on that last play and you get your quarterback outside, your chances of success are pretty high.
7th 1st down for the Shamrocks. At the Falcons' 24. Wangler in motion, and I think we had some motion on the part of Catholic Central.
Some of the offensive linemen having a hard time, as we like to point out, holding their water, starting to tilt back in their stances.
A dead ball, false start, offense.
So they'll push him back 5 yards, make it 1st and 15 now for Tom Mack and company. Tom Mack a little surprised with his club success because it was a tough go this year. Really felt like the Catholic League helped prepare his team for the playoffs. And when they lost to Orchard Lake St. Mary's earlier this season in a mild upset, they have rebounded nicely from that. Now at the 29, looking for the equalizer. Thomas rolling to his left, firing, picked off. Oh, what a great interception by Justin Leach, and he's got some room up the sideline before Brooks knocks him out of bounds in Catholic Central territory.
See Thomas, he's looking for Sheristani in the flat. Leach is playing a soft zone on the corner, and he just falls back in. And I'm not sure what Thomas was looking at. Obviously, he doesn't see 25, Leach, because he just falls off the coverage a little bit, makes a nice play. Big turnaround, CC going in for points. Instead, now, Kentwood has the ball again.
23-yard return after Justin Leach intercepts his 4th pass of the season. Gives the Falcons a 1st and 10. They marked him out of bounds, and now here is Sanders getting along the CC sideline and around the 40-yard line. They had marked Justin Leach out prior to the 50. But now no problem for East Kentwood reaching Catholic Central territory. They have done that on all 3 possessions now that they've had in this first half.
When you run this type of trapping, this type of deceptive offense as the straight T is, you need a quarterback with ball handling skills. Corey Sanders proven that he's up to the task. He's kind of like a magician back there trying to find the ball.
Now at the 42, Sanders handing off up the middle. I think that's a loose football, Rob Rubik. We might have another turnover here. Catholic Central celebrating. Is it premature?
Well, it seemed like the whistle, the play had been dead for a while.
Yes,
not sure
it
if one
is.
of the officials are marking the ball because that ball came loose pretty late.
Noel Alaman coughed it up. Catholic Central thought they had it, but the Falcons retain possession.
Ball recovered by East Kentwood's number 30, Noel Alaman.
Now an official timeout.
You see the ball coming out before his knees are on the ground, but there's something you have to understand. The forward momentum had been stopped for a while. He'd been standing up, and in high school football, the officials are going to blow the whistle and kill the play before your knees get to the ground. That's not necessarily the point where the play is over. When the momentum is stopped, they're going to blow it, even if you're not on the ground.
And he gets the first down to boot. Darnell Tyson is the one tackling the football for Catholic Central on Noel Alaman. Maybe that's what Catholic Central feels they'll have to do. Tackle the football a little bit more. You look at the gaudy numbers boasting for Noel Alaman so far, and we still have 9:15 to go in the first half. Here's Foster. Give him 4.
This is a game where cameramen cannot be paid enough. Trying to follow the football. If you got someone who's supposed to follow the football each time, those handhelds on the side, they're going to have a tough afternoon because it's difficult up here. And I know this offense, and I'm watching the guards pull, and that time the second back gets it, and it's difficult to follow those black. We said earlier, Mickey pointed out, those black jerseys do not help.
You just made 8 new friends, by the way. 2nd down and 6. Alaman up the middle. And he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Number 30, Noel Alaman. And he's brought down by number 22, Tyson.
These kids for this East Kentwood football team are obviously athletic, but they're athletic in key spots, according to their head coach, John Shillito. Especially on the offensive side, where he says all 11 are solid athletes. Sanders with it on his hip. Catholic Central sniffed it out and dropped him for a big loss. Drew Amble came in and knocked him for a loop. And for the first time this afternoon, Catholic Central able to hold.
We can look right here. Amble's going to come from the cornerback, number 17. He's not in your picture yet. But look at him fending off the block, and that's a nice job by the junior, Drew Amble, whose father actually I attended high school with, a little tie to Catholic Central back in the Upper Peninsula in town of Newbury 20-some years ago. That's all I'll say.
Newbury, one of those teams that has never made it to this venue.
They've never made it to the playoffs yet, but hopefully things will change.
Means hoping something changes after fumbling that punt. Not much. Tough situation for Catholic Central. They trail by 6 and are pinned back around their own 10-yard line. We have 7:09 to go in the first half. Don't go away. John Shillito's East Kentwood Falcons on top 14-8. He said his club has to be patient on offense and execute, and they're not used to doing that considering they average 49 points per game. But they have to be patient and make some big plays. And look at how often Catholic Central has been here. 15 appearances now. They are 7-3 when the game is on the line. And East Kentwood, 5 appearances, but the first time they have reached this deep into this state championship tournament. Tom Mack won back-to-back titles in '97 and '98, 3 times as a runner-up. Looking to become a second-time back-to-back champion. Thomas on the outside leans to about the 17.
We've seen a similar play run by the Falcons of East Kentwood earlier on, where Corey Sanders keeps the ball after the ball fake. That time Thomas is going to do the same. You see him protect the ball, show Brooks a little bit. Gets a nice seal block, gets to the outside. Shows he got a little bit of wheels himself now. Yep. Getting to the corner. It's a good first down play. Keep him second and medium. That's what Coach Mack would like to be able to do. This brings a play action game. Gives a play action game a big role right now.
Thomas, 6 feet, 180 pounds. Looks taller than that. Doesn't get down as low as Sanders. And taking the snap, second down and 5. Means has the first down and more, dragging tacklers to the 28.
Well, we talked a lot about Derrick Brooks. Randall Means, he's not too bad on his own. And the offensive line needs to get a lot of credit. You're going to see right here coming right at you. Watch the line blocking inside. A nice bounce, fullback leading through. But good vision by Means, taking up in the initial hole and then kind of sliding to his left. This is what the Kentwood defenders are looking at. There's a lot of big bodies. We haven't talked a lot about this, but Matt, the CC offensive defensive fronts are much bigger than the East Kentwood.
Yeah, 50-pound difference on average. CC's offense to East Kentwood's defense. Means again, this time he was stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Offensively, that has not become a big factor for the Falcons of East Kentwood. The fact that they do all angle, all trap blocking, where you do not have to sustain your block. But defensively, when you have those big hogs leaning on you the entire game, and CC likes to come off flat back, Matt, it can wear on you.
Speaking of the big hogs, we know that offensive linemen rather run block than pass block. But can it be almost too much at times? Because, let's face it, neither one of these teams throw the ball all that much. Does it wear you out? Play action. Thomas wants to throw. Gets some good blocking. Slings it downfield. Flag on that play.
And that's a good penalty. You never think pass interference is a good call, but that was.
Aaron Pauling, the intended receiver, but Tremaine Rembert hit him too early.
Matt, in high school, this is only a 15-yard penalty. If Tremaine Rembert, who Pauling gets behind, does not run into him, and Pauling makes his catch, this can be about a 40-yard pass play. That's all right. That's not a bad penalty to take in that situation.
I agree with you. Pauling doesn't have to wait for that football. He waltzes in for 6 too.
Yeah, Thomas spotted him a little bit late, rolling to his left. He has to stop, square his shoulders, and try to get anything on the ball. Now we saw pick and just from Brother Rice, who showed a very strong arm, being able to roll to his left and still throw back to the right. Thomas didn't have quite the arm strength on it. You're right. If he gets rid of the ball early, hits him in stride, that's probably a touchdown.
So an automatic first down carried with that penalty. And as Rob pointed out, they move it to the 43-yard line of Catholic Central. 5:45 remaining in the first half. A fast-moving first half. Falcons lead at 14-8. Out of the eye. Brooks. Close to the 50. One running back tackles another. Eric Foster in on the tackle, the 5'10", 160-pound senior.
Matt, as much offense as we've witnessed here so far in the first half, the game now is kind of slowed down. It's a 14-8 game. The next score is going to be big. If CC can get back in, get a tie or lead, but they let Kentwood get up on them, things will get tough.
Split backfield behind Thomas. 3-step drop. McMichaels close to the first down. Hey, following this one, 5 o'clock, our coverage of the MHSAA Finals continues with the Division 5 title game featuring Constantine taking on Montrose. Fred McLeod, John Wangler, Shireen Saski standing by to deliver the coverage today at 5 on Fox Sports Net. It's 3rd down and 1 now for Catholic Central. They are 3 for 3 on 3rd downs. East Kentwood's crowd standing in unison. Rogowski bangs free on the left side for a 1st down.
Sometimes you can be predictable, as Catholic Central is on their 3rd down and short situations. They go to the big fullback, Rogowski. But it does not matter. When you execute and you got a back like Rogowski, the defense can know it's coming and they still can't stop you.
Well, East Kentwood has had problems stopping people, but it's been a problem for others to stop East Kentwood. Tom Mack said he just wants to hang with them early because he knows Kentwood scores a ton of points. He says if we can hang with them early, then we're going to be in this for the long haul. 14-8 they trail, but they have the 1st down. Brooks with some lead blockers out there, stumbled for a moment. Might have inched his way to the 40. Justin Berry in on the tackle for the Falcons.
You can see a little bit of a fold block between the tight end and the tackle. What's going to happen? He's going to block here. He's going to fold out and get outside. But a good job defensively by the Falcons, stretching it out. And you see a lot of black shirts in your picture, and that's what you want on any play that heads wide, Matt. You got to have that pursuit. Now, upstairs, when the Shamrock coaching staff sees that, they say if they start over pursuing and using the smaller but yet team speed that they have defensively, watch them some misdirection coming back.
2nd down and 5 for Catholic Central. Brooks, nifty moves, and tripped up at about the 27. I like the way he runs, Rob.
Yeah, I like the way he runs. I like the way he follows the captain of the offense, number 78, Greg Aerosmith, left guard. He's going to come out. He's going to pull on this play. Let's watch it. He's going to kick out, trap block, gets right on his hip. Then he gets behind big Ryan Danescu, and the rest he does on his own. But that's good line blocking. That's CC line blocking. A little bit of trapping, not a lot. More usually straight on, but when they do pull, they really collapse people.
Aerosmith putting 260 pounds on that 6'3" frame of his. 9th 1st down for Catholic Central. Thomas to Means this time. Backs his way up to the 20.
CC has it rolling. 5 new black shirts are coming in on the defense for East Kentwood, trying to substitute a lot of people. We talked about that big offensive line starting to wear them down. And when you put a couple 3 long drives, as Catholic Central has been able to do, those smaller defensive linemen start to get weary.
Well, that's why I mentioned that earlier. I mean, you have 3 guys on that defensive line for East Kentwood who are under 200 pounds. Meanwhile, for Catholic Central, you have 4 players who are over 250. Means again, left side into the defensive backfield, fumble on the play, and I believe CC was there to jump all over. One of those offensive linemen make it a tight end. Kyle Smith recovering the fumble. 1st down for Catholic Central, number 10 on the game.
Here's Kyle Smith right here. Watch what he's going to do. He doesn't give up on the play, and if he doesn't come down there and follow the play, Matt, he's not going to recover that fumble. And that's why you coach all your people running the ball all the time on both sides of the football.
You get the sense that both teams are starting to tackle the football a little bit more because they realize how much of a high-scoring game this is going to be. Just about dead even in the ground attack. 1st and 10 for Catholic Central. Brooks sliced it up the middle and got inside the 5.
You know, getting back to a point you made on the last play, Matt, about how they're tackling the football. And what you need to remember when East Kentwood has the ball, how they hold the ball with their arms folded over the top. They kind of swing it back and forth. I don't think you get a real good grip on the ball as you do with the over-under type of grip. And what happens is if you start tackling that football, look for it to maybe pop loose a few times. So you get over-under, you see Derrick Brooks doing, and I like that.
Means along the left side. Getting a little closer. Jermaine Rembert came in to make the tackle. Under a minute and a half to go in the 1st half. Each team has their full allotment of the 3 timeouts. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line. Actually, they can get a first down right at the goal line. Thomas still with it. Pitches to Brooks. Tries to get the angle. Has it. Boy, he has deceiving speed, doesn't he?
And he gives him a little dead leg, we like to call this. Down the option, Thomas with the pitch. Watch this, a dead leg. Whoop. Show him a little bit like I'm going to cut it up and then just accelerate to the outside. CC coming up the extra point here, Matt. They're going to probably kick it. One will give him the lead right here. Gives him just a little enough of a dead leg to make Sanders pause. Half a split, just a split second. Outside touchdown.
CC has something East Kentwood does not. A steady field goal kicker. Jason Gingell, 47 of 49 in point afters. Make it 48 of 50. And for the first time this afternoon, the defending state champion Catholic Central Shamrocks have the lead by 1. An emphatic response for Catholic Central. They lead 15-14 with 55 seconds to go in the second quarter. A 13-play, 88-yard drive over 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Hey, referees are more than a necessary evil. They're people who come from all walks of life and all kinds of backgrounds and serve an important function in the development of responsible, respectful young people. We dare you to join the officiating ranks. For more information, visit MHSAA.com. Shamrocks will kick it away. Gingell to Sanders, who grabs it at the goal line. They'll let him come out. To the 20. Oh, he wrecked his world. Big hit by Darnell Tyson. Feels good to him, but not to Corey Sanders.
Darnell Tyson hit like Mike Tyson on that one. Comes from the blind side. Sanders catching it just outside the line. Turns it up, decides for the first return of the day. And right from the side, Darnell Tyson. Hello, Corey Sanders. My name is Darnell Tyson. Boom.
I thought you were going to say Tyson Nash of the St. Louis Blues, because he's a bit of a fighter at the NHL level. We can keep going on and on with the Tyson references. Sanders under center, under 50 seconds. He fumbled it, picked it back up, tried to squirt up the middle, but there wasn't anything there.
I think after that play, both teams, especially East Kentwood, would be happy just to go into the half, let the clock run with under 30 seconds remaining now. This is an offense where you don't spread people out and go for the big hit, so just protect the ball.
You told us during the break that Catholic Central is going to get used to this offense. They'll make adjustments as the game goes on, and it seems as though they've done that. Second down and 8.5 for Corey Sanders and the Falcons. Alaman. Stutter stepped his way and spun his way to the 30. John Shillito quickly calls a timeout with 8 seconds to go in the half.
He's going to see a sea of white jerseys about 25 yards on the field on this play now. Coach Mack is going to have his secondary playing in not only the deep prevent, keeping everything in front of him. It's not like you have the spread offense where Corey Sanders is used to stepping back 7 yards and maybe running a Hail Mary or so forth. They don't practice a lot of time in the passing game during the course of the year.
Right.
Actually, Matt, you look at some of their stats where they threw 20 times, only 7 completions, but 6 were for touchdowns.
That's right. Now, Shillito is used to this side of the state, even though he's coaching out west. He grew up around here, played his high school ball at Royal Oak Kimball, and then played at Central Michigan University for Roy Kramer and Herb Duramity. Both, he said, affected him greatly in his ability to coach the game of football, and it's rubbed off well. First and 10 for the Falcons, who trail by 1 with 8 seconds remaining in the first half. We invite you to stick around for a feature at the half on some of the best athletes the state has ever produced, and Mickey York will have a visit with the leading coach. Sanders trying to lead his way up the middle, and another timeout by Shillito. They're not going to give it to him. The first half is in the books of the Division I state championship. The Falcons, led by Corey Sanders, had the lead until the Shamrocks of Catholic Central responded with a time-consuming drive, and now hit the break with their first lead of the contest, 15-14.
And I think Coach Mack's going to be very pleased. You talked about he wanted to come out, just kind of sustain the initial tidal wave from this high-powered East Kentwood offense. I think they've done that very well. Each drive has been getting tougher and tougher for the Falcons to move the ball. And on the opposing side, he has been able offensively to sustain drives throughout the half.
All right, Mickey York is standing by with the Shamrocks head coach. Mick?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Coach, it's looking like one of those games that whoever has the ball last will win. Is that what you expected?
Well, we expected that. We didn't know if we could stop them that as much as we did. We're not sure exactly, you know, what our approach is going to be in the second half, but we're going to have to stop their offense. That's got to be the key. And hopefully that we're going to get the ball back, and hopefully we can do something with that ball when we get it.
You slow them down with a little bit of ball control yourselves. Is that maybe the best way to attack their offense, just by keeping the ball out of their hands?
Yeah, we definitely want to control the ball as much as possible and keep it out of their hands. That first drive was really scary. They went right down the field and scored. But I think our defense is starting to see things a little bit better, and I hope that that'll help us in the second half.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you.
Okay, thanks.
Well, we've seen a lot of great ones so far, but this one's shaping up to look like one of the best. CC leading 15-14 at the half here at the Division I state final, pardon me.
A late first half Shamrock touchdown has given Catholic Central its first lead of the game, and at the break they're on top of East Kentwood by 1 in the Division I state championship. Welcome back. Well, we know that Catholic Central and even East Kentwood have had a number of great athletes come through their program. In our halftime feature today, we take you back about 30 years or so for some of the greatest athletes to ever play any sport in the state of Michigan in the 1970s. Rick Leach may have been the best athlete in Flint history and was one of the greatest in state history. He eventually played pro baseball. So did Frank Tanana. Tanana was a gifted southpaw who had big league clubs drooling and big-name colleges vying for his talents that made him a two-time All-State selection in basketball.
People, you know, back then knew he played baseball and knew he was really good, but people knew him because of basketball.
I loved basketball. I worked hard at basketball. In fact, signed a letter of intent to Duke University to go play basketball in the event that baseball didn't work out. But my dreams, my hopes from being a young boy was always to play big league baseball. I had never had a problem thinking that I was a very good baseball player and could compete against the best and be one of the best. It was something that my dad always just instilled in me, gave me that confidence. Everything that I had done from a young age just pointed towards continuing and succeeding.
John Wangler was the king of Royal Oak Shrine from 1972 through 1976. His football talents warranted all-state honors in Bo Schembechler's first ever Rose Bowl. He ran track and could have played big-time basketball, too.
I had, some really high Division I basketball schools. At that time, in the mid-'70s, 6'2" white point guards, there was still a place for them. And, I really did enjoy playing basketball.
Arizona offered him a basketball scholarship. He was an outstanding basketball player. Good jump shot, knew how to control the tempo of a game. Freddie Snowden wanted him desperately for basketball, but football was his best sport.
Wangler's teammate at Michigan was fellow quarterback Rich Hewlett. He was a multiple all-state star at Plymouth-Salem in the same sports and was desperately sought by the dean of college football coaches.
I was trying to do something different for the all-suburban team, so I said, well, I think Alabama's recruiting him. I'll call up Bear Bryant. Well, the secretary won't even give me the time of day. I said, well, listen, this is Mick McKee from the Detroit Free Press, and I want to talk to Bear Bryant about Rich Hewlett. Now, if he wants to be quoted in the Free Press about Rich Hewlett, here's my phone number. 3 minutes later, Bear's on the phone, just couldn't stop talking about the guy.
There were a couple occasions when he actually called my house during the recruiting process and talked to him over the phone. But also on my recruiting visit as well, when I went down for a weekend down there, had the opportunity to meet in his office. And I'll tell you, he was a legend. He was near the end of his career at the time, but you literally sat there in awe of him.
Everyone was in awe of Jim Paciorek. He is the only 16-time letter winner in Orchard Lake St. Mary's history. He was a 3-time All-State pick in football and baseball, and back-to-back All-State selection in hoops, and voted Michigan High School Athlete of the Year in 1977.
He was our dream team quarterback his senior year in high school. And for a Class C kid, especially at quarterback, to make first team All-State, the dream team, unheard of. He was an outstanding pitcher in high school, but third base, first base, outfield, he could play anywhere at Michigan. Went to the College World Series a couple of times and then chose that. And in high school, won a state championship in basketball.
Well, the only athlete in our 117-year history that had all 3 of his numbers retired in those 3 sports. And he just, of course, went on, as we all know, to play professional baseball. But he certainly had a career, bar none, that no one has and probably never will be able to match.
Tough to choose those individuals, but all worthy. John Wangler, part of that piece, will be with Fred McLeod at 5 o'clock for our next coverage of state championship football action. But we still have another half to go. We'll recap the first half and more with Rob Rubik after this. Welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome. Catholic Central leads by 1. See what John Shalito needs to do to get back in this one. Here's Mickey York with the coach.
All right, Matt, thank you very much, Coach. They really only stopped you once in that first half. What sort of adjustments did you talk about during the halftime?
Well, I'll tell you, the big thing we got to do is we got to get the ball back on defense and then just play with confidence. They stopped us once and they made it count. It was a great half of football, really, on both sides of the ball. I mean, I thought both teams played real well. We got to step it up in the second half and kind of finish the job.
You concerned at all about the length of time your defense spent on the field in that first half?
Well, I tell you, the big thing is we got to get some stops, because we get some stops and we get the ball back, we'll be fine.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you. Thank you. Matt, John Shalito, back up to you.
Make good point, because almost 2-1 in favor of Catholic Central.
And Noel Aleman starts things out for East Kentwood with a long touchdown run. But, Derrick Brooks is up to the challenge. He answers the bell, puts CC on the board. Matt, and this is what type of, it's going to be like a title fight. You look at some of the stats here. First downs, fairly even. CC with the edge. The rushing yards, this stat right here, this kind of surprised me that Catholic Central was able to put up those type of numbers. But when you look at the size of their offensive line, you can see why. They're really leaning and getting some push. Time of possession, though. This is the one that could really pay dividends for Catholic Central as the game wears on. Not only they're controlling the ball, they're controlling with big people pushing on little people.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, a 2-1 advantage there almost. That's our Bell Tire stats brought to you by Bell Tire. They are rolling. Catholic Central out of the locker room. Looking forward to the second half. So are we. 2 touchdowns by Derrick Brooks, 2 touchdowns by Noel Aleman, and it's a 15-14 Shamrock lead here at the break of the Division I State Championship. Here's how these teams got here on our Wallside Windows Road to the Finals. Catholic Central beating Novi and then Macomb, Dakota. East Kentwood, no problem with Muskegon or Holt. Talk about the 2 guns at the beginning of this broadcast, Rob Rubik. The guys who fire on all cylinders, Brooks and Aleman. Here's how it shapes up right now.
Well, Aleman averaging 13.7 yards a carry, and that's not surprising. I think what surprised me is you look up top, Derrick Brooks was 77 yards. Coach Max spoke so highly of him, but you know what? I didn't appreciate his talent until I got to see him play. I love the way he sets up blocks. I love the way when he decides to head north and south, he gets there, Matt. He doesn't dilly-dally. He gets through the hole. Aleman, he gets it. His advantage, Matt, is when he gets the ball a lot of times, the deception part. People don't realize he has it, and when they do, sometimes it's too late.
And Aleman, 70 of the 137 yards came on 1 play. Now, we know Catholic Central has been here before. Tom Mack won a championship last season, is looking for the second time in his coaching career to win back-to-back titles. Last year, it was against Utica Eisenhower, DeGiorgio, to Lance Long to give his team a late lead here at the Pontiac Silverdome. 1 of 2 touchdowns from Lance Long, but Ryan Rogowski responded with a late touchdown for the Shamrocks, and they won it 24-21 on Fox Sports Net, and an exuberant Tom Mack celebrating his 7th state championship. Will he have number 8? We'll soon find out. The Shamrocks and Kevin McKee looking for some blocking, breaking a tackle. We got a flag on the play from the near sideline. Our referee today, Frank Hendrickson. Well, you can see the Falcons coaching staff wants to push him back right away.
Illegal block in the back, and the receiving team. First down.
One of the rule changes this year, we've seen it called maybe upwards of a half a dozen times so far over the 2-day finals here in the Pontiac Silverdome. The push in the back, the illegal use of the hands. A 10-yard penalty, marched off against Shamrocks, starting out deep, man. This is a big series for both teams. The Shamrocks want to continue what they started in the second quarter. In East Kentwood, the Falcons need to try to stem the tide a little bit, slow down this offense that has really been having their way with them.
Dave Thomas, a solid first half. He went 3 for 4 through the air for 18 yards, did throw a pick. Their game is on the ground with that man, Derrick Brooks. Small game.
Well, Coach Shillito was pointing out that he's pretty pleased with his offense, that they were stopped one time, but his concern falls on the defensive side of the ball. They need to make some stops. Sometimes you can wish it all you want, but if you don't have the personnel up front to match up very well against the other team, that's not going to help you.
Well, Shillito's smiling because his son just made the tackle. Matt Shillito, 6'1", 185-pound senior, who boasted 2 interceptions on the season. The middle linebacker of this Falcon defense. 2nd down and 7. Brooks again. Pass of 15.
Tom Mack's offenses, as long as I've been covering high school football here at the Pontiac Silverdome, have never been a thing of beauty, in the sense that you don't see anything fancy, you don't see the ball being thrown all over the field. But if you like power football, disciplined football, assignment football, they get it done. They come off the ball, they flat back with the offensive line. He always seems to have those big hogs up front. The running backs hit the hole, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now, Matt.
Randall Means brings the play in from Tom Mack along the sidelines. Catholic Central successful on all 5 of their 3rd down conversion attempts today. Full house behind Thomas. He needs 2.5. Fakes the pitch, and Brooks is stuffed in the backfield. That play took a while to develop, didn't it, Rob?
Yeah, it took a while to develop because they're going to fake the pitch going wide, a little misdirection, trying to get to Brooks coming underneath on a little belly play over the top of the center. But when a play takes long to develop, you have those small linemen, as East Kentwood does. They got pressure into the backfield, stopped them for a little bit of a loss. Nice start for Kentwood. They started the first half with a touchdown. Oh, that is going to be huge, Matt. They jumped offside. CC drew them off with a hard count. Just was giving credit to the East Kentwood defense. You see number 65 jumping in the zone here. Aaron Smith a little over anxious, and you can see him. He's just not happy. He feels as bad as anyone does right now, but the benefactors will be the Catholic Central Shamrocks.
You don't get here by making a lot of mistakes. Neither one of these teams has made that many. That's updated. Only 8 penalties called in the entire game. Thomas and the Shamrocks offense, the beneficiary here. Brooks, big opening, big speed. Can they touch him? No way.
Take a page from the playbook of a friend of mine, Lions broadcaster Mark Champion. Holy mackerel. A penalty on a 4th down play. The next play, the very next play, you get hit with an 80-yard touchdown run.
That is huge right there. Gingell in for the extra point. And it's good. Catholic Central now leads 22-14 4 team. Good teams have a way of making other clubs pay for their mistakes. Derrick Brooks got it done. An 80-yard touchdown sprint from Derrick Brooks.
And Matt, this is going to be set up for some blocking. Means is going to kick out. Wangler's going to kick out, and they're going to seal down. It's going to open up a natural seam. Watch the offensive line, double at the corner, kick out Means, seal by Wangler. A bad pursuit angle right there by the safety. Coming up too tight was Tremaine Rembert, and the rest is history. Derrick Brooks showing some outstanding speed going the distance.
80 yards. He answers Noel Alaman's 70-yard dash with an 80-yard sprint of his own. There's the sophomore, Wangler, who sprung Brooks for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the afternoon. A squib kick fielded by Sanders to the 20, and he turtled there. Now he runs this Falcon offense, realizing what he is up against, knowing that they probably need a score here, even though it's early in the 3rd. He has watched the Shamrocks score on their last few drives. East Kentwood's first drive was as impressive as you would ever see. Actually, their first 2 drives, but the last 2, they have gained just 22 yards. Very poised quarterback in Corey Sanders. Makes plays when he has to. A handoff. Big hole there for Kyle Hinton. He'll move the chains.
Well, they haven't called Kyle Hinton's number too many times this afternoon, but when they do call it, you're going to see it. This is a great view of the blocking inside. You see the guards pulling, Hinton getting up in there. A nice job. And that's what you got to do. You got to mix up. You got to use all your players. You can't just key in on one back. Jason Horton do a good job pulling there.
Just his 3rd carry of the afternoon. They'll actually mark him just shy of the 30, so it's 2nd down and short. Hinton again. There's his 1st down.
Man, I think you made a good point when you were saying this is an important series because the last 2, not as the fact that they're down 8, because we know they can score, but their last 2 drives haven't put any yards on the board. And sometimes in a game like this, your offense starts losing a little bit of confidence. You wonder how a team that scores 60 points in 3 games during the season could lose confidence offensively, but they have not played a caliber defense like they're seeing here this afternoon.
1st and 10 from their own 32. Alaman backed his way up to about the 35. Darnell Tyson in on the tackle. Yeah, John Shillito also realizing the importance of this drive because he's worried about that Catholic Central defense. He knew coming in, he said, I respect the Shamrocks defense an awful lot. They have a formula for success, and they adapt as well during games as any defense I've seen. That's been proven out so far in this one. After getting steamrolled on the first 2 drives, they have held Corey Sanders and company in check the last 2. Now Hinton fights free to midfield. Breaking tackles as he rolls. Drew Amble finally caught up to the big fella, but not before he reached Shamrock territory and picked up 25.
Well, the first half, it was a huge dose of Alaman. This half so far, it's been Hinton, number 44, who's been the main man in the offense. They fake the fullback trap. They come to the lead to the halfback. He gets in the seam, makes a nice move to sidestep the first would-be tackler by the Shamrocks, and that was Alec Wojcik. And if it went out for Amble, it was probably a touchdown.
Another 1st down at the 40-yard line of Catholic Central. Alaman, he's twisting his way close to the 30. 7-11, and the clock continues to run. We know all about the history of Catholic Central reaching this standpoint. John Shillito has not been to this stage very often, but is excited about it and respects CC.
It'll be a tremendous task for us to be able to come in and do the things that we do against that type of a program. I mean, they are, to be able to play against the defending state champs, to be able to test the things that we've done and the success that we've had there, I think is a wonderful opportunity and great challenge for us.
Well, it's a challenge for everybody who has played East Kentwood this year. It was a challenge early on for Catholic Central, and Shillito and the Falcons making sure that the Shamrocks know that they won't go quietly.
No, they won't. But we also know, Matt, if anyone can adjust to an offensive scheme that gives everyone else difficulty, it's Coach Tom Mack, one of the best defensive coaches the state of Michigan has ever seen. They always come prepared to play, and he's adapted his 5-2 defense and a little bit of a 6-2 today.
3rd and short for Sanders. Alaman, he's got it. Tough to bring down, too. It's the 11th first down for East Kentwood. Kevin McKee had to come up from his monster position and make the tackle.
Catholic Central is doing a better job with the defensive front trying to win the battles. And this is a good view right here. They're getting penetration, Pat Clark into the backfield. But Alaman is doing a nice job. He just finds a little bit of crease. He doesn't try to make every play a touchdown. And the fullback in this offense, Matt, you got to get through the hole before you look big.
Alaman again. Leapfrogs his way. Now sidesteps his way inside the 20. Carries, tackles. He's still not down. What an effort. Wow!
Oh, my. Well, if you've seen better than this, send me an email. Alaman with a sidestep there. 4 white shirts. They're trying to tackle the ball too much, Matt. You talked in the first half. It looked like CC was really trying to strip the ball. Here you got 4 white shirts all tackling the football.
But the 2-point conversion is stopped short. Noel Alaman. What an effort. 29-yard touchdown run. It is his 3rd to match Derrick Brooks in this game. A battle of tailbacks, and it's a good one. Don't miss the rest of it. 22-20. Shamrocks in front and with the ball. After this. They talk about hearts of champions. Noel Alaman showed an awful lot of heart on his last carry, Rob Rubik.
A lot of heart and other anatomy, mostly legs on this one, Matt. You're going to see after he gets the handoff inside, just going to be a little trap right in here. And he gets into the seam right here. Nice lateral sidestep to get by Ambo. Now you got 4 white jerseys around him. They're pulling on the ball, tugging on the ball. He keeps going. What a center of gravity into the end zone. And what do you say about a run like that? Except that's going to be on a lot of highlight films. That's going to be in our Open next year, I think.
Hey, those are big guys, too. You're looking at Brian Hanley, who's 217, Darnell Tyson, who's 205, and he's shedding those guys, you know, like they're kindergartners. Alaman will kick it off, too. Still not winded. McKee will grab it at his own 4. Up the near sideline, looking for a wedge. Can't find one. Runs out of real estate. The Alaman and Brooks show. He deserves a breather, doesn't he?
So do we. I can't believe that. What a these plays like that make me almost want to donate the $10 they give us for doing this back to Fox Sports Detroit. But you know, I'll keep it. That's just outstanding football by both teams. And CC maybe made a little bit of an error trying to tackle the ball too much.
Yep. You know, one utsmanship. Quarterback still has it. Thomas running free. Look at him get some blocking. Does he have some wheels? Big play after big play inside the Falcons' 40-yard line.
And I was fooled. I got caught watching Derrick Brooks up inside. I started watching like a fan instead of a guy that knows you need to follow the guards. And a great ball fake by Thomas getting to the outside. And I like this right here, Matt. When he gets to the second level, he cuts back against the grain, knowing the defensive flow is going to be chasing him. Seeing him go left, he comes back to the right. Remember, it stays with it, forces him out of bounds.
39-yard gain. I'll tell you what, Rob Rubik, I've seen some players on this field today and yesterday I would take on my team in a minute. This quarterback is one of them. 15th first down for Dave Thomas and company. Brooks slicing his way inside the 30. It's almost as if Derrick Brooks is watching Noel Alaman and gaining some inspiration, and vice versa. at how they attack the defense. Now, I know that's how they run all the time, but don't kid yourself. They both realize they're well over 150 yards. Both realize they have 3 touchdowns in the bank. They want to win, but they also want to make sure people leave the stadium going, wow, that guy impressed me.
Derrick Brooks is more of a slash. Noah Alleman's like a turtle who turns into a hare real quick, like that tortoise. All of a sudden, he comes through like in a shell, then whoop, he's gone. He shows that speed.
Split backfield behind Thomas. 2 wide receivers to his left on a 2nd down and 6. Brooks again. Good balance inside the 20.
Well, these aren't games that your defense coordinators want to put on their resume because they're struggling right now. But good vision. Look at that. A little sidestep. He sees that the play is clogged at the point of attack. Just a little shallow cut to the left. Gets into the seam. Good yardage. Nice camera work. Shows that vision that we talk about, Matt, and I harp on all the time that running backs need to have. You always hear run the daylight. Well, I've seen a lot of running backs that like to run the darkness. So Derrick Brooks definitely sees the light.
How about the big guys up front? Daniscu, Aerosmith, Gallagher, Horton, Clark, all getting the job done. This one's McKee inside the 10. Kevin McKee, only 10 rushes during the season now. Does have 1 touchdown. He's got some speed there. 6 feet, 190.
I think the most telling part of this game is going to be the lack of a kicking game for East Kentwood. They got into that 2-point conversion mode where all of a sudden, once CC got up after Kentwood failed, they were able to kick the extra point. Now trailing by 2 as they were unable to convert on the last touchdown.
Under 3.5 to go in the 3rd on a 2nd down and 1 from the East Kentwood 10. Thomas. Means touchdown.
I sense a tired Falcon defense out there right now. They're just moving kind of slow on undersized defense that's getting pushed around. Randall Means did a nice job. We talked about this little cross action in the backfield. Now watch him come back to the right. Good job by Smith. The tight end getting a block down the field. That's Derrick Brooks. We know he can run. He can also block. Getting up in there, giving it, springing him.
Now Gingell on for the extra point. To make it 29-20. There it is. Rob talked about the lack of kicking game for East Kentwood. The difference is now 9 because of Randall Means' 5th touchdown on the season. 3:14 remaining in the 3rd. Catholic Central driving 76 yards in a little bit more than 2 minutes.
Take one more look at the TD, and I want you to watch Derrick Brooks. He's not the tailback in this situation where he's been running all day. He's going to be the lead blocker. He's going to come right at you, right in your screen here. He's going to get a block on Torrey Hicks. But look at that, nice lateral movement. But I like, Matt, any running back, when he's running the ball, making his moves, he's still heading north and south. They never stop and dance in the hole. Make your moves as you're traveling down the field.
Nice to see that Tom Mack rewards Randall Means, too, for the hard work that he's been putting in all afternoon, mostly as a blocker. This time, he's put 6 on the board, and it's 29-20 Shamrocks, who has scored in every quarter so far in this game. Bigfoot. Spotted at the 20. We started this broadcast immensely impressed with the way the Falcons can move the football. Now you can't help but feel that same type of impression about the Shamrocks. Hey, get your football fix, your pro football fix, too. A day early on the NFL show, the most unpredictable pregame show on television with Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, and comedian Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows will never be the same. The NFL show, tonight at 10:30 on the here on Fox Sports. Now it's up to Corey Sanders and the Falcons to respond. The up back, Alamand bowls his way for 5.
Matt, you get the sense we do Eastern Michigan football together. We saw a team that struggled defensively and it put a lot of pressure on the offense of Eastern. Well, I'm seeing that today maybe with East Kentwood. The way Catholic Central has been able to move the ball, each possession becomes critical for this Kentwood offense because you feel like if they blow a possession and don't put points on the board and allow CC to get the ball again, they could probably put this game out of reach.
Yeah, I get that sense. You're right. East Kentwood takes the field, realizing that they have to score. Sanders gives to Hinton. Tripped up at about the 28.
And this second half started so auspiciously for Kentwood after forcing Catholic Central into 3 and out in a punting situation of 4th and 3. The offsides penalty looms very big right now. They retain the ball. Next play, Brooks, 80 yards for a touchdown.
Rob, you also have a lot of guys going both ways for East Kentwood and Catholic Central, but the depth the Shamrocks pose, that could become a factor as the game wears on too, if it hasn't already. 3rd down and short. Alaman. That second effort might have gotten him that 1st down. 2:02 left to go in the 3rd. Welcome back, Mickey York. Hi, Mick.
Hey, Matt, you know, a lot has been made about Catholic Central's tradition. East Kentwood is producing pretty good athletes of its own. Lloyd Vaught, the former Wolverine and NBA star, Mike Knuble, the Red Wing and current NHL star, and Brian Hyde, who ran the 1,500 meters during the Atlanta Olympic Games. But perhaps the most famous East Kentwood alumni of all, our very own Fox Sports Net producer, Jeff Bile. And, you know, come to think of it, there's a famous CC alum as well. Our graphics guy in the truck, Brent Valente, who's wearing a number 87 CC jersey today that I might add is not his own, Matt.
Showing school pride. A flag on that play.
Now that doesn't look like Brent. You know, I've met him before.
That guy's a little bigger than Brent.
In a production meeting, and doesn't look anything like that. I think CC is definitely better off without Brent wearing that jersey, though.
Dan Carnival told us before the game, make sure you get that jersey back. I loaned it to him for just a day.
Getting back to the game here. After a 4 to 5 yard game, a holding call, Matt's been set up a 1st down and 15. And this is an offense where you can overcome penalties, but it's not like a passing offense where you can hit the 50, where you can pretty much know, okay, I got a 15-yard pass play in my bag of tricks. You got to hope that one of these runs pops. If it doesn't, you're going to put yourself in a tough situation.
Well, you don't like these long down situations, although John Shillito told us before, hey, we have a quick strike offense. We got an offense that can play it any way you want it. We'll mash it down your throat if we have to. But you don't put up 49 points per game on average. Numerous times they've scored 60 this year without having big strike capability. 1st and 20 for Sanders. Alaman breaking free again. McKee had to track him down at the 38. So much for the penalty.
You're a stinking genius, Mr. Shepard. You show right there. They don't have to vary from what they do. They just come back and they run the fullback trap. This is the play they've been having all their success. It's going to be right inside, coming right at the middle. And you can see how everything is caught up in the wash. And look at the receiver getting down in the field. They want to funnel. Talking to Coach Shillito, he said, we want to funnel everything, get our receivers down inside, try to get them on the safeties, and that's when we get the real long runs.
Alaman 17 carries, over 200 yards. And a whistle stops this play before Hinton can find something on the right side.
Well, maybe there's a lot of people from the west side of the state watching this game.
Dead ball, offside, white, 5 yards.
And we just like to give them a Division II playoff score update from Allendale, Michigan, Grand Valley State 50. Indiana, Pennsylvania 7, with still a little time left in the second quarter.
Another close game for the Lakers. This one is close too. 29-20, Catholic Central on top with under 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It is the Division I state championship title bout. East Kentwood unbeaten at 13-0. Sanders still with the rock, tossing it away and completing it near midfield. Who else? Noel Alaman.
We're talking about Granville a little bit, Matt, as I always trying to give my alma mater a little bit of play. But let's remember the outstanding quarterback, the All-American, the Harlan Hill candidate, Kurt Ains, played at East Kentwood High School.
Oh, maybe he'll be keeping one eye on the TV set a little bit later, too. Maybe he's rolling tape at home. But what he sees so far, watching Derrick Brooks and Noel Alaman, I'll guarantee you he'd love to have either one in his offensive backfield. The final quarter upcoming after this. East Kentwood's cheering staff feeling good because their Falcons are moving the football again. They're within 9 Have the football at their own 49-yard line on a 2nd down and 5. Alaman stuffed at the line of scrimmage and driven back. What a day it has been for Noel Alaman and for Derrick Brooks, each with 3 touchdowns on the ground today. The MHSAA finals record is 4. Numerous players boast that honor. The last one to do it, Kevin Woods of Harrison in 1999. Third down and 5. Alaman, first down, breaking free into the defensive backfield and rolled at the 34. Get your calculator out, folks. The yards keep piling up.
This is a little bit different play than we've seen him run in the past. It's a fullback trap with a little bit of twist. It's just they pull, but it's more straight blocking. Yep. Everyone kind of pulls and loops, Matt. So it's a different look. So it gives the linebacker a different read. They don't see the guards pull. So they're starting to flow outside and they hit him underneath.
14th first down for Alaman. Hinton left side for a pickup of about 4. Gotta love what they're doing on first down. That, I think, is the key to their drives. What they're doing on first down. Blowing CC off the line of scrimmage. Dan Moore with the tackle. You see how Alaman fares compared to the finals record of almost 300 yards. He's got a ways to go, but boy, we've already seen the big strike capability on his part. Second and 4. Alaman again. Hit hard by that tough linebacking core of Moore and Rogowski.
Dan Moore, number 43, is going to fill. It's a little fullback trap. Watch Alaman, but he's going to stop like he hits a wall. Form tackling by Dan Moore. When you have to stop this offense, you take away the fullback trap. I keep saying that. It sounds simple. The problem is all the other 3 or 4 plays that combine in this offense, you don't know when it's coming. And if you concentrate too much inside, they hit you outside.
Takes a lot of discipline. 3rd and 2. Hinton has the first down. And look at him keep those legs moving to reach past the 20. The Falcons now 5 for 7 on 3rd downs.
Well, we just talked about taking the fullback trap. Watch what happens here. CC's going to take the fullback trap away here, but he fakes it. You can see Hinton come off. He fakes it inside, and Hinton comes to the outside. You concentrate too much down inside, they get you outside of you. Danged if you do, danged if you don't.
Talked about it in the open. That's a lot of weapons. Approaching the 9.5-minute mark of the 4th. Alaman driven back.
I wish I had a chance to talk to Coach Chilito right now and find out, is this the best that anyone has defensed? I would imagine by looking at their scores, his offense the entire season. And coming in, you know, I knew he knew about Coach Mack's reputation and what he has done with defenses, how he alters them. You know, it's supposed to be a 52 monster that he usually plays, but we knew coming in you'd see more of a 6'2" and even a 6'3" in times, getting 8-9 people up in the box, trying to slow down this high-powered wing T offense.
One of the fewest points they scored all year was 38 against Granville. Alaman, nowhere to go. Pat Clark, great penetration by the Shamrock defensive tackle. And keep in mind, folks, this team put 52 on the board against Holt in the semis, 36 against Muskegon, 50 against Holland West Ottawa, and 34 against Granville.
Talk about patience when you call the plays in this offense. You saw the fullback trap 2 times in a row, and there was nothing there. Now you think they're going to go wide, but don't be surprised if they hit you back inside.
Those were back-to-back wins against Granville, 3rd down and 9. Sanders still has it. And driven down at about the 8 or 14-yard line. Well shy of the first down, had to reach the 10.
But enough yardage to put them into a manageable 4th down situation in this offense. You're looking at 4th and 4. You're going to see the ball fake. There's Alaman. Look at his arms coming through like he has the ball. Hinton carrying it like he has. He puts it on his hip. Sanders gets outside. A good job getting outside by McKee, stopping him short of the first down.
So at the 14-yard line for Corey Sanders, an important 4th and 4. Flag on the play. Oh, if that's illegal motion, what a costly error that could be.
It's one of those calls that sometimes backfires on you. You go on 2 or 3.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
Trying to draw the defense off, but it's tough for an offense too, who's geared up to come fire off the ball, and the offense buckles a little bit. They get a procedure call now that changes everything. A 4th down and 9. You can see the tight end, I believe, a little bit. Actually, the tight end was the only one that didn't move, so that's not a good call on my part.
So they push him back to the 19. It is now a 4th and 9 for East Kentwood, who trails by 9. Sanders can throw, but he's only thrown 20 times this year. He still has it, trying to get outside, reversing his field. Has a man open. Floats it for the end zone. Caught! Thomas Slager, the tight end, with just his 4th catch of the season and his 4th touchdown.
Are you kidding me? I cannot believe this. Sanders, you talk about improvising as a quarterback. Drops in the pocket. There's a boot to the left. There's no one there except for white jersey, so he takes it all the way back to the right, and it looks like he's not even throwing it for Slager. He has hitting underneath, and Slager comes flying out of nowhere, makes the catch. There's Shillito also in the play.
Now they must go for 2. It's Hinton. Nothing doing. What a grab by tight end Thomas Slager. Corey Sanders bought himself some time, and then just in time his tight end saved him to draw within 3. What a drive for East Kentwood. 14 plays, 80 yards in almost 7.5 minutes. Sanders to Slager to Pater.
Well, right here, this is just a quarterback trying to make something happen at the last moment. Throws up. I think he's going for number 12, Shillito. But instead, Slager, who keeps working along the backside of the end zone, working back to the football mat. When your quarterback scrambles and he starts going away, you got to work back to him. Give him something. He doesn't need a lot, but throw him a bone. Give him a chance to make a play.
He has made plays when he's been asked to. 4 catches, 4 touchdowns for Thomas Slager. Wow. Noel Alamont, for the first time, didn't score for the Falcons. His club within 3, delivers. Wojcik, the 30. Breaks free, lowers the head. Might have churned his way to about the 33. Well, we are only halfway through after this game ends. Our coverage of the MHSAA Finals continues today at 5 o'clock with the Division 5 title game featuring Constantine taking on Montrose. That's the 3rd game of our 4-game coverage here on Fox Sports Net. Fred McLeod, John Wangler, and Shireen Saski have the game for you today at 5 on Fox Sports Net. Dave Thomas, the quarterback for Tom Mack, whose club leads by 3 with 7:47 to go in the final quarter. Mickey York asked Tom Mack at the halftime, "Are you afraid the last team with the ball wins?" And he said, "Boy, it sure seems that way." This time he gives the ball to Derrick Brooks, who lunges forward for 3.
If you're East Kentwood right now and you're on that defense, and they do have 5 people going both ways, you got to dig down deep, Matt. You got to pull a little bit extra, because you know if you let CC do what they've been doing this entire second half, taking the ball, marching it down the field, you may get the ball back with about 1.5 minutes in the game. When you run a straight T offense like that, it does have big play capability. But I sure rather be a passing team in the spread offense like we saw last night with Lowell. So your defense has got to come up, can't allow too many first downs.
Dave Thomas staring at a 2nd down and 8. 2 wide receivers to his right. He's looking that way on a 7-step drop. Down the middle of the field. Oh, what a grab! Sean Shostrani with an unbelievable catch over his head. I think it was intended for Jeff McMichaels, but another tight end bails out his quarterback.
Well, this one I think is just thrown down the middle, a little hitch and go. Thomas delivers the ball, and it looks like too many black shirts are playing the ball, looking like I'm going to get it, you're going to get it, and no one ends up making a play on the football. And by doing so, that's let Sherastini just hop right in there, Matt. and pick it off.
Big play by the junior, his 8th catch of the season. And Rob, by the way, 4 touchdowns for him on the year. Good ratio. McKee stuffed at the line of scrimmage. You talked about the ability to throw the football. And Catholic Central throws it better than East Kentwood. But what about kicking the football? Because Catholic Central obviously has a talented kicker in Jason Gingell, but it doesn't appear that East Kentwood has an answer for that.
And it doesn't. But it's going to be big right now. If they get in the field position, they have a 3-point lead now. That would make it a 6-point lead. And with the struggles that East Kentwood has in the extra point game so far today, they're going to be forced to go for a 2-point conversion. And I like your chances better stopping someone on a 2 than a 1. But how about the play calling by Tom Mack? Comes out first down, runs it for about 3 yards. Play action. We talked about play action sets up the passing game, or the running game sets up the play action. CC proved it.
Gingell, by the way, 5 for 6 on field goals, in case you're wondering. Means already 1 touchdown. Got the corner. Tiptoed his way down the sidelines to the 21.
He's going to pick up a nice block here by Kevin McKee, who goes in motion. He's going to be the lead blocker. He just gets a little bit of a kick-out block on Eric Foster, allowing Means to get to the corner. As you said, Matt, turn it up. Another big play for the Shamrocks. Then once again, see that style?
Yeah.
Dip it in,
Yeah.
get to the outside.
Randall Means, an 18-year-old, beyond his years. Goes up in a tough neighborhood in Detroit. Really has to fend for himself an awful lot. McKee up the middle. Big push.
They got to be careful. It could be a penalty now. Again, the offensive line cannot aid a running back. You cannot push him in the back to move him down the field. So some of the big hosses there were trying to give him a little bit of help.
And there is a flag on the play.
Now you're going to see the option come down line of scrimmage, and watch Thomas. He takes the ball. He's going to ride it a little bit with McKee inside, and it's like, whoa, he barely gets it to him as he carries out the fake. And see his eyeballs staying with him. Make sure he had the ball, because if he doesn't, the quarterback has to jump on it.
2nd down and short. Brooks bounces it outside. Got a block. And should have the first down. That time, Tremaine Rembert came up and made the play, unlike on Brooks's 80-yard sprint earlier.
Well, Brooks, the big dipper by the end of this day. Watch him. He goes outside, squares up a little bit, gives him that leg, gets to the outside. And that's what you like. He shows that the defensive back closing stays inside out. And as soon as he's running back starts to square his shoulders on you, you have to break it down a little bit. And then when he accelerates, you're reacting and you can't keep up.
I like how he shifts the ball from right to left, too. Carried in your outside shoulder. 21st first down for Catholic Central. This is Brooks again. A lot of space. He cuts it up, dives, touchdown. He's tied the record.
This is just good execution inside, good lead blocking, blowing up at the point of attack. And that's what you want from your lead back. McKee's going to get a good block. Means is going to get a block. Kevin McKee, number 10, has been doing an outstanding job here the past couple series as the lead blocker.
The extra point is almost automatic. Derrick Brooks, 4 touchdowns on the day, 17 on the season. But more importantly, he's given the Shamrocks a 10-point lead. (36-26), Catholic Central on top of East Kentwood. 4:34 to go in regulation.
Well, let's look at this last touchdown right up here. You're going to see 2 defenders, some miscommunication on one receiver. And where does the ball go? Right where one of them should be. Foster gets there a little bit too late to help out. And that's, assignment football. We talk about how well CC does on the defensive side. A mix-up for East Kentwood really costs him.
What a day for Derrick Brooks. 4 touchdowns on the day to tie a Michigan high school state record. And approaching 200 yards. A returnable kick. Sanders from his 8. Bouncing outside, knocking down a helper. And then pushed out of bounds at the 32.
Well, you're going to see something very unusual in any game of football at any level. Usually in a situation like this, Matt, teams are going to come out, they're going to spread the ball trailing by 10 with only 4:24. You're going to see the same thing. You're going to see a straight tee. You're going to see basically the same plays. They might throw in some type of play action offer, but you're going to still see them running fullback draw, their fullback trap inside. They're going to run cornerback keep off it. And they're going to run the lead to the offside halfback.
John Shillito wants one of those big gainers that Noel Alaman gave him earlier in the game when he scored from 70 yards away. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. Looked like somebody moved early, but no flags fly. And it was Alaman who got up limping a little bit.
This is something new for the East Kentwood Falcons too, Matt, trailing at this point of time in a football game. This is a team that's been leading in the fourth quarter the entire season. How they react to it, we're going to find out. Just a trap inside. Let's keep an eye. Oh, he gets his knee. I think that was McKee, number 10, came in there and hit him on the knee and the shin a little bit, and hopefully Alaman will be okay.
Yeah, they need to rest Alaman just a little bit. You know, John Shillito, we talked about his offense and how it was a school record. His previous offense in 1999 in Muskegon Orchard View had to put up a lot of points, but this team's offense just went crazy. But his defense a little suspect. They've given up points like 38 to Grand Rapids Ottawa Hills, 36 to Rockford, 34 to Jenison, and 32 to Granville. That was the first of 2 meetings against Granville. Second down and a long 7. Sanders to Hinton. No, Sanders still has it. Nice move inside, but couldn't get to the 40. Stopped just shy there. They need bigger gains than that as we approach the 4-minute mark.
The clock right now is definitely Catholic Central's friend. Keep them from getting a first down. The clock does not stop. It keeps on running. Each one of these plays is going to cost them at least 20 seconds.
Sanders on a 3rd and 3. Alaman hit by McKee at the line of scrimmage. Well, you're right, Rob. Kevin McKee has come up from his monster position, made some key blocks offensively, and has played excellent defense.
Oh, there's no question McKee's been key here in the second half. Both sides of the football, one of the two-way starters. Only 3 of them that Catholic Central has in their roster. So Kevin McKee, to me right now, is probably, I know Derrick Brooks has been the outstanding offensive player of the game, but Kevin McKee maybe has been the most valuable player of the game for Catholic Central.
Been playing out of his mind and his shoe. 74 tackles during the regular campaign, second on this club only to Darnell Tyson. Kevin McKee and the Shamrocks will try and hold East Kentwood on a 4th and 1. The Falcons 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions so far today. The MHSAA Women in Sports Leadership Conference is for anyone interested in becoming a coach, official, or athletic administrator. Student athletes also are encouraged to attend. The 2003 conference is February 2nd and 3rd in Lansing. For more info, contact the MHSAA office, or you can visit the MHSAA website at MHSAA.com. Always a splendid event here at the Pontiac Silverdome. 4th and 1 for East Kentwood, trailing by 10. Have to score here. Hinton found enough room to get the first down.
East Kentwood needs to get into their hurry-up offense. They pick up first down. The clock will stop when the officials move the chain and spot the ball. But this situation where you have to have the play called, they should really have an audible system, but this is something they're not used to. We talked a little bit earlier. They're not used to being behind. And Hinton's going to have to come out of the game, get a substitution in because he loses his shoe.
17th first down for Sanders and the Falcons. Alaman tripped up at the line of scrimmage. I think he's tired. He might be bumped and bruised a little bit too.
And if he is, he's earned that right.
Absolutely. Special runner, Noel Alaman. And a great offense.
Yes, he's definitely, you know, he reaps the benefits of this system.
Sure does. Second down and 10. Sanders throwing, looking for his tight end, and it's intercepted. Rondell Means with his 6th pick of the season.
We talk about responsibility, doing your assignment, and assignment football on a defense. What we're going to see right here means, right, he's in the middle of the field. He's responsible for the deep third in the middle. When the tight end Slager threatens that area, he's going to come off on him and make the play. Some good play fake by Sanders. Buys himself just enough time, delivers the ball, and it's a well-thrown football. If Means is not there,
wow,
Slager's going to catch that, man. It's going to be a big play.
Yeah, that is a great catch by Randall Means. And disappointment in the actions and on the face of Corey Sanders, the quarterback for East Kentwood. Thomas and the Shamrocks will try and run out the clock. Who better to give it to than Derrick Brooks? East Kentwood has 1 timeout remaining. Catholic Central, you figure, Rob, what, 2 first downs, maybe just 1?
Yep. Looking back at this game, you can dissect it and think back about would-haves and could-haves and ifs and buts, but I think the 2 plays are going to stand out in the mind of Coach Shillito for the rest of his life is the penalty on the offside, which had CC retain the ball and were able to score the next play, and the lack of a kicker, Matt.
Yep.
I mean, but that's something he needs to be accountable for, and he will. He realizes that, but he has so much confidence in his offense, he likes his chance of getting 2 points each time.
Doesn't take away from the fact that they've had a spectacular season. Brooks well over 200 yards for another 2 more to tack on. That's his 24th carry of the game. But we have seen, Rob Rubick, some fabulous athletes, football players out there laying out over the last couple of days. Brooks and Alaman, 2 more. And it has been fun to watch, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's been fun to watch, and the list gets longer.
Sure does.
You look at these teams, I think Wachowski's done a nice job. Also, you look at McKee, number 10. Randall Means has done a nice job, 33 for CC, the running back. So there's a lot of good players on this field.
Dave Thomas has done a nice job. He has the football now. Stays in bounds. Boy, smart move right there. That's a smart play right there.
Spoken like a former quarterback from North Farmington, one of the greats all time. In my opinion now, we each have our opinion.
Obviously, you never saw me play. Timeout for East Kentwood.
I was too busy getting pushed around at Grand Valley at the time. But yeah, you're right, Matt. It is a heads-up play by Thomas. That just shows the savvy that he has as a quarterback. Instead of running out of bounds, he tucks it up, forces East Kentwood into using their final timeout.
How different would this game be right now had the Falcons converted extra points instead of forced to go for 2-point conversions?
Oh, it'd be a lot different because I know I'm trying to figure out the score. 26, they have 4 touchdowns. They lose a couple points there. And also, Matt, this is a defense that struggled the entire afternoon trying to slow down the Shamrocks.
Right.
Well, the one time they do, they come out in the second half, they get a 3-and-out, and they get the penalty. That's tough. But that's also good coaching on the Shamrocks part. Catholic Central going on the hard count when you have 4th and 3. If it's 4th and 9, it doesn't benefit you to go hard, because if you get the 5-yard penalty, you still punt the ball. But on 4th and 3, they picked their spot and they took advantage of it.
Falcons out of timeouts now. First time we've seen Scott Schwartzlos for Catholic Central, the punter. Quickly gets it away. Sanders will grab it at the 32. Yeah, he signaled fair catch, and then he started to run with it.
But you see how he kind of starts to run, he drops it like, I was just heading to the sidelines.
That's right. Well, I was only going to indicate that if there were no white shirts in front of me.
He looked like one of those big dogs in the cartoon trying to hide behind the 2-inch popple tree. He stood out there.
And I'm surprised he did that, because you knew Catholic Central was going to keep their people in to protect.
Look at unbelievable. I didn't know any of my relatives were coming.
That's not you. That's Rob Aller, our producer. That's not Rob Rubick.
You know what? I love it.
Look at it. It says Newberry right there on the bottom, Rob.
Look at that. Here you go. Let's put a smiley face on the Newberry people coming down to help support Michigan high school football.
There you go, young fella. Got your wish. And looks like he's wishing the Catholic Central will win the state championship. And that's close to coming true as well. Big pressure. Sanders, was he in motion of throwing the football? No, it's Catholic Central fumble recovery. Darnell Tyson with big backside pressure.
And Tyson was no chicken on this play. Watch him come from the backside right here. He's going to come chase him down. The arm was going back. He hits him in the elbow, and it comes flying out. Even though his arm did follow through, I think this is a pretty good call by the official. It was going back. The ball was already loose in the air by the time his arm came forward.
Well, they can be difficult for teams that are not used to throwing the football to stage comebacks late in games. This is a perfect example of that. Dave Thomas takes a knee. Catholic Central is one play, one snap away from celebrating their 8th state championship. And it appears as though the rich get richer. What a game. It had everything you could have wanted. Great individual performances, some hard hits, big plays. One of those big plays made by that young man, Thomas Slager, to give his team a chance, but they will fall short. 10 points short of Catholic Central. Tom Mack. Those are his sons right there. 2 young men who will leave this program with another state championship. Joe Mack and his son Mike Mack. And of course somebody has to lose in a game like this, unfortunately. Well played game by Corey Sanders and the Falcons. What a great year. But the Shamrocks get sized up for yet another state championship ring. We'll be right back to talk with the victors. 36-26. Tom Mack's Shamrocks. No luck involved here. Nothing but skill and heart on Fox Sports Network. Catholic Central shines on the grandest stage. 36-26. Another state championship for the Shamrocks. The 8th for Tom Mack. Now the presentation of the championship trophy here at the Pontiac Silverdome. First to the runners-up.
Runner-up, the Falcons of East Kentwood High School. Accepting the runner-up trophy is Coach John Shillito. Our congratulations to the Falcons of East Kentwood High School on an outstanding season. And now, Mr. Lilly will present the Division I Championship Trophy to the Shamrocks of Detroit Catholic Central High School. Accepting the championship trophy, Coach Thomas Mack. Our congratulations to Detroit Catholic Central High School, the 2002 Division I football champions.
I don't think Tom Mack has touched that trophy yet. He's the first coach that I've seen allowing his players to grab hold of it, and quickly they run over to their fabulous student body and celebrate with the people who have supported them all season long. Another state title for Catholic Central. Clearly one of the best sports programs in the state of Michigan.
Well, it's not like Coach Mack has had his hands on that trophy before.
No, but Mickey York has his hands on Coach Mack. Mick?
Actually, it's Derrick Brooks, Matt. Derrick, you've repeated as state champs. How's it feel?
It's amazing. You can't describe it. It's just something. Never thought I'd get a chance to experience my life twice.
4 touchdowns today. You tied a state finals record. What can you say about your big fellas up front?
Oh God, they played amazing. I mean, the 4 touchdowns, they mean something. But winning as a team, that's the most important thing.
All right, congratulations, Coach, with your team. A heck of a game by that young man today, Matt. The scary thing, he's just a junior.
No, isn't that unbelievable? We could see him again next year, Mickey York. Hold that spot, because you might be talking to Derrick Brooks after he gets that picture taken next season as well. Over 200 yards for the junior, and the main reason why the Shamrocks celebrate yet another state championship. 36-26, the wrap-up after this. They have done it again. Catholic Central High School, reigning champions and back-to-back champions for the second time under Tom Mack. They win their 8th state title, beating East Kentwood today, 36-26. A talented group of young men who even though they watched the Falcons score quickly and early. Tom Mack's company had plenty of reserve there and able to battle back and get this victory. Mickey York standing by with the head coach. Probably no prouder moment than to coach your sons to a state championship, right, Mick?
No doubt about that. He has one of his kids right here. Tom, you talked about how special all these state championships have been, but how special is this one?
Oh, this is just tremendous. I just can't say enough for it. The kids played terrific. That team, East Kentwood, they were a great, great opponent. We didn't know if we could stop them even at the end with 1 minute to go. You know, they were just fantastic. And our kids just kept coming back, and I'm so proud of our guys. They just hung in there and kept coming at them, and we actually did it.
You bring a tear to your eye that you won't be able to make your kids run laps anymore?
Well, I won't like that. These guys have been great. Just great. They're the greatest kids in the world. They work hard. They contributed to the team. They did a great job for me all year long for our team. And I'm just so happy that I had a chance to coach them and they had a chance to play in a second state championship team. It's just fabulous. It's just words I can't express them.
Joe, how special of a day is this in your household?
I can't even describe it. I've been dreaming about it since I was like in first grade, and it's just a dream come true. There's no words that can describe it. Being able to share with my family, it's unbelievable.
You gonna miss Dad as a coach?
Oh, definitely. I mean, hey, I couldn't have written a book to just make my 4 years any better than this. It's amazing.
Well, congratulations to all of you. Go enjoy it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
It's a family affair down here on the field, man. A real happy one at that. Back up to you.
I don't blame him. I'm a father, and I know what it's like to coach kids, but I can't imagine coaching my sons at this type of level, in this type of game on Fox Sports Net, in front of this type of atmosphere. Joe Mack, Mike Mack, very proud of their father, Tom Mack, who in 27 years has now won 245 games and 8 state championships. Our next game is the Division V final between Constantine and Montrose, coming up at 5 o'clock. For Rob Rubin, Mickey York, our entire Fox Sports Net crew, my name is Matt Shepard, saying so long from the Pontiac Silverdome, where the final score in the Division I title game was Catholic Central 36, East Kentwood 26. You've been watching high school football on Fox Sports Net, your exclusive television home for the MHSAA football and the MHSAA basketball championships. Now stay tuned for Beyond the Glory, and then following that, the Division V final between Constantine and Montrose with Fred McLeod, John Wangler, and Shireen Saski. Beyond the Glory comes your way next on Fox Sports Net. Enjoy.